Hi, everybody. I'm Shayla Wilkinson. I'm a member of our corporate communications team working at our global headquarters in Kansas City. And I'm here to talk about belonging at Block, joined by DGM's Tracy Everson and Trey Hall. So I'd love to just kick off the discussion with kind of a get to know you type of question. Tracy and Trey, could you tell us a little bit about yourselves, how long you've been at Block, where your district is, and then maybe end with a fun fact? Tracy, you want to kick us off?
Sure. So I am Tracy Everson, and I have been at Block for 21 years. So I am going into my 22nd tax season. My district is in Great Birmingham, Alabama. And a very fun fact about me that a lot of people don't know, I enjoy baking cakes from scratch. And I really, really enjoy it. So maybe in another life, I'll be that cake baker after Block.
I love that. I just got a little hungry with you talking about that. And Trey, could you tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a tough one to follow. But my name is Trey Hall. I've been with Block coming up on 7 years now, and my district covers Southeast Alabama and Northwest Florida, Panama City area. That everybody knows where that is. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then a fun fact is that a lot of people don't know is that I'm actually an ordained minister, and I did that to marry a couple of people, and then I ended up doing about 250 ceremonies since then. It's been a while, so I've done one. It kind of just caught on. So it was just fun to get out and meet people. Didn't really do it for the money, just did it for the experience and to meet people and to do new things. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love that. You guys have such interesting hobbies outside of work. That's awesome. And, the whole reason we're here today is to kind of talk about belonging. And so when I think of belonging at Black, I really think about the ways that I enjoy being a part of our Elevate Belonging group and just some of the other programs and available things throughout the company that really ensure that everybody feels like they have a place, have a support system, and have a group of like-minded individuals to lean on. So for you all, why is it important for you to create a culture within your own districts where everybody feels like they belong and can contribute? Trey, you want to kick us off on this one?
Well, number one, I think in anything you do, it's important to have that sense of belonging. It's human nature to want to belong to something bigger than yourself and to belong to something where you can make a difference and feel like you drive an impact. Number two, it's very well researched that when people feel this sense of belonging, that they are more productive. They can grow better themselves personally, as well as grow your business better, and they get that sense of teamwork, like what they do matters. And all those things definitely drive the things we want to drive here at Block. It helps them feel like there's a sense of certainty in what they're doing. It helps them feel like there's some sustainability in what they're doing moving forward. And you don't have that fear of the future thing quite so much. And if you're being included in decisions being made and things happening throughout your district, they just feel better about that, and they want to be more involved. And it relates back to their own personal growth, as I mentioned earlier, as well as the growth you can derive as a company. And everybody knows that my district, we love to have a lot of fun too, so the fun factor's got to be there.
Absolutely. Makes work more enjoyable. And Tracy, anything to add to that?
I must say, I totally agree with Trey. And when I think about it, again, it really does allow a sense of self pride and the fulfillment of self worth. And when you think about self worth, that puts you into self growth. And, as humans, every aspect of life, we love to celebrate growth, whether it's, being 5 years old, 10 years old, whatever it is, we love to celebrate growth. And so when we create the culture of belongings, and that's why I thought it's essential to what we do at Block. And that's why I believe that it is just so important. It must happen.
I love how you each are so passionate about this topic, and you can tell that given your tenure at Block and your experience, you all have seen the impact of belonging over the years, but also prioritized it in your own district. So can you share with us, Tracy, how you've approached belonging within your district and maybe give us a couple examples of past success in this area?
Sure. So I think it really must start with being able to step into another's world. And what I mean by that is being able to spend good quality time. One simple thing that I do just in when I'm in the office visiting with my tax professionals, I don't stand outside of the cubicle and talk to them. I come inside of the cubicle, I sit down at the desk because then I just stepped into their world. And even if I'm visiting at the front desk with my client service professionals, I step behind the desk. I want them to know that I care about your world. I care about what you care about. And same way with our clients. I enjoy walking into an office and we have our clients there. But the enjoyment that I have the most is when I can sit down, not stand, but sit in there in the waiting area or as they're getting ready to serve to have that conversation. So when you look at how do you start the connection, it is by putting yourself into someone else's world, lending yourself to their world for just a minute to embrace and to understand them.
I love that. That's such a great example of just leadership. And it doesn't matter titles and it doesn't matter, what role somebody has, but truly connecting with somebody, beyond the barriers, not you sit inside, I'll stand outside, but really meeting with somebody eye to eye. I think that's a wonderful example. Trey, can you share some examples of success you've had with promoting belonging within your district?
Yeah, absolutely. And to tag along with what Tracy said too, I just want to say that listening, is everything. So for me, I do a lot of things like town halls. As Tracy said, when I'm in an office, I'm highly engaged with the associates working in the office. I'm always constantly seeking feedback from them. Not only do I give them my feedback, I always look for their feedback on how I can be a better leader for them, how I can give them that greater sense of belonging, how I can make their work they're doing more meaningful to them, and anything I can do to support that growth. And so we do all sorts of things too to help energize them, along with the Spirit Week that Block, does. We do things throughout the year. We're working to build this culture of connectedness and belonging year round, even though we're a seasonal business. So we constantly want to do things to have fun. We have a whole calendar of things throughout the tax season that we do, and we get pretty wild, in our district. We do Valentine's Day stuff, crazy sock day, crazy hair day, all sorts of things, to help them have the fun, because having that fun also makes them feel like part of something, exchanging Valentines, things like that. They feel like family. It doesn't feel like they're going to work. It feels like they're coming to their family. And so that's what I would say on that. And just being very, very transparent. And if I don't know the answer to something, I'll tell them, hey, I don't know the answer, but I'm going to find out for you, instead of just give them something to pass them off and then move on. And then I would also say following up. We talk about targets and goals all the time, but if you really want to make them feel like they belong and are part of it, let them know what their contribution to that is, and follow up with them and check in with them on a very regular basis to make sure that they don't need any additional help since the last time that you may have spoke with them, and so forth. So I'd say that really what I've tried to do is just have very clear, consistent communication and follow up, and let them be part of the solutions and part of the planning and part of what we're doing, so that they really feel that belonging.
Great. Those are such great nuggets as well. And one of the things you mentioned, Trey, was just being a seasonal business and a seasonal workforce, and how much more important it can be to foster that connectivity, being that the touch points aren't as regular or don't always happen as regularly throughout the year as other businesses in some cases. So what are some of the challenges that you experience or that you have overcome with promoting belonging within your district?
For me, what happens a lot of times is if somebody, whether it was at Block or at a previous job, had a bad leader experience and did not have a leader that promoted growth, promoted recognition, promoted belonging, and just kind of micromanaged stuff, you got to work to gain their trust first, and you do that by again, just being very transparent, very open and honest, and by listening. Or sometimes people that maybe due to the other things in their life, they have that lower sense of self-worth, and then you consistently recognize them, even on a small scale. It's just walking by and saying, hey, I appreciate everything you've been doing. You're doing a great job. And just that pumping them up, or posting something on the wow board, or getting their favorite candy bar, and just doing little things to help boost their confidence and keep them going. And then it's just consistently doing whatever it takes to give them that sense of belonging, to give them that sense of, hey, this person really does care about me. My leaders do care about me. They do want to see me grow. They do want to help me succeed. And if you do that, then you will gain their trust pretty quickly. And then you can work through those challenges like that.
Yeah, it's interesting how that one small seed that starts with the recognition or starts with some kudos can snowball into just a bigger confidence and better performance. So I love how you mentioned bringing that out of associates and tax pros. Tracy, do you have thoughts on that? Just some of the challenges that you've overcome?
I think one of the biggest challenges for me is recognizing that everyone have a different comfort zone level for you to enter. I have to recognize that everyone may not today be at the same passion level that I am, and respect that zone. But even with respecting that zone, just like Trey said, still come in and give them that recognition, give them that praise. I think so many times, because we are a seasonal business, we just want to say one size fit all. One way to communicate is just the way I'm going to do it. Well, it can't happen that way to be successful. So for me, it was me doing a self-check and realizing that, hey, you know what? Everyone could be at different comfort levels of where they're willing for you to enter today. And it's upon me, as being that people leader, to be able to get in there, inspire them, and stretch that comfort zone out so that they do know that they belong here at Block.
Absolutely. I love that ownership and accountability as a leader to kind of meet people where they are and kind of bring them up to speed, or up to that sense of belonging as they feel comfortable. And I just love how there's so many different ways or opportunities to connect. You never know if that connection can be found in a crazy sock day or a crazy hair day, or if it can be found in just connecting with your leader when she comes by and sits in your cubicle. There's so many ways to kind of spark that fire. And I love that you guys have shared so many ways that you've incorporated that over the years. So as we wind down, I want to talk about advice. One thing I've found so helpful in my career is when people who've been there, done that, share with me their wisdom. And so I'd love to kind of open the floor for you all to do just that. For a new DGM, is there any piece of advice, or what is the best piece of advice you can share that might be most helpful? Tracy, would you mind starting?
When I begin to think about that, I would say the best piece of advice that I can say is invest in your team and with your team. So invest in your people, and investing. Trey talked about earlier how important it is to listen to their ideas and implement them. Don't just take them, but implement them. And then be right there with your team. Spend time with your people. When we spend time with our people take care of all the processes. So just be sure to invest in your people.
Such a good point. That the time that you invest benefits everybody exponentially. So I love hearing that. Trey, what piece of advice might you give to new DGMs?
Yeah, well, Tracy definitely summed that up very nicely. So for me, a couple things. Number one, be very authentic with your team. And I'm not very much of I'm the boss, you're the employees. I really believe in servant leadership. I work for them, because without the associates out there, you don't need me, right? And then just going back to something I learned in some leadership training many years ago, the Kiss Smith method: keep it simple, make it fun. And that we try to live that every day. And if you do that, simplicity definitely wins the day. If you make things overcomplicated or hard to understand, it makes it harder for the people to follow those steps and to get that understanding. And when they start getting lost and sidetracked, that can foster feelings and emotions that you don't want, and negativity and unproductivity. So definitely keep it simple and be that servant leader for your team. Be there, like Tracy mentioned, for them. Be part of everything they're doing. Don't just put it off on them. You know, we as leaders, we have to take ownership of everything that's happening with our teams.
Well said. Well said. You guys both have just been dropping gems this whole time. And I love the themes of authenticity, humility, rewards and recognition, and just spending time as kind of hallmarks of this discussion. So we have such great insights and takeaways. And I just want to thank you both again for sharing. I think those within your district are lucky to have you and the company for that matter. And for those of you watching, just please don't let the discussion stop here. You just really think about this topic and what it means for you and those in your district. So thanks, everybody.